What is up, boils and ghouls? It is Jeff. Welcome back to the Horror Fiend. Today, I bring you an interview with, well, I'm not going to spoil it just yet. I'm just going to say her name and then we'll go from there. It is with the lovely, the awesome, and the amazingly talented Marie Mazer. Marie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know, which I'm assuming everybody who watches this channel, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Marie is iconic. She is known for something that nobody else can claim, which is she is Art the Clown's very first victim, plaything, whatever you want to call her. That is what she is. And congratulations on that, by the way, because you are a part of history now. Like, it's wild.
I know. Thank you. It's been very exciting.
I believe it. I believe it, especially with all the love and hype that Terrifier's been getting. It's been insane. I have had the privilege of interviewing David and so many other members of the cast. So again, thank you for agreeing to be here with me today. It does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to everybody who watches this. So thank you again.
Of course. Well, thank you. You are my first podcast. So thank you for having me on.
Yes. That is awesome. I am honored even more now. So I want to just jump right into it. Okay. I think the question that everybody's going to want to ask, I might as well start with it. So how did you come into the role? I mean, there's not even, you are listed as woman in the credits. So how did you get this role? Like, how did you get this role that wound up being such an important part of this franchise?
Yeah. So it kind of was a roundabout way because I originally auditioned for a feature length that Damien was doing. And I auditioned for a smaller role and I got cast. And the production went into production and I just kept waiting for my scenes to get, called up. I was waiting for the shooting dates and that production, stopped filming. And he said, you know what, we're just going to do a short film with just you and Art the Clown. And he offered me, that part of Woman, I think she was called. And so I was very overwhelmed. I really hadn't done any like major acting roles. I had never really done a lead in anything. So my anxiety was very, very high going into it. I just wanted to do it proud. Horror movies are my absolute favorite. So it was a dream of mine to be, one of the girls in a horror movie. So I got to check that off the list. I don't even remember if I went in for a second reading or an audition. I think he just, had it in his head. It was a short film. It was going to be filmed over a couple of days. Do you want this part? I said, yes, of course. And then, next thing I know, we're filming.
That is amazing. It had to be an experience for you. Like, I just imagine it was wild going from, not expecting that to like going like into the thick of it, going into like such a intense, like, I think that's the best word to say, is like a very intense sequence. Speaking of it, like, what would you say out of everything, that whole part of that, okay, that entire short, what would you say was your favorite part of it? Like your favorite sequence or the favorite like moments from it?
My favorite part is when I get picked up by the driver towards the end. She's already been badly beaten. She already knows that there's this clown who seems to just keep coming back and keep coming back. So now he's got kind of this like Michael Myers quality where like you think he's down and then he's not. And she's just so desperate and she gets picked up and that scene where she kind of like really breaks down was probably the most fun to film. And so much of the movie is me interacting just with Art. That scene gave me the chance to talk to someone, to have some dialogue, to have some like real emotions that aren't just fear, but also, I was crying and, it was a lot more fun to film.
That is awesome. Speaking of all of that, I got to ask, you worked with Mike Giudelli. Like, he is the original Art the Clown. He is Art before David Howard Thornton and everything else. How was it working with him?
I mean, absolutely amazing. He was so nice, so sweet, offset. And when I first met him in rehearsals, I got used to working with him, and he is just so nice. And the first day I was on set, he had already been there all day because it took so long to get him into art. Um, that when I saw him for the first time on set, and of course I was nervous. I'm like, oh, my first real role, let me do good. And I saw him and I was very scared of him. It's very different to see him when he's all done up. And he can't really move his mouth, so he couldn't really talk to me. So it honestly felt like someone completely different than the person I had been rehearsing with. But then as filming had gone on, we would talk in between takes, and he was still this like nice, just, super sweet guy. So by the end of it, people would walk by, if they weren't part of the production, and they would see me sitting next to this clown, and I'd be like, what are they looking at? Why are they staring? Oh yeah, that's right. That you're all done up in clown costume. But to me, he, by the end of filming, was just, Mike Gianelli.
That's amazing. Speaking of people that you worked with, obviously we got to talk about Damien. Like, how was it working? This is Damien before Damien blew up. Like, now Damien's Damien, like, you know what I mean? And so how was it working with him on this? Like, how was the interactions? I know, like, I believe there was like that scene where you're all cut up and everything else. I'm assuming he used like a nude cast and all that. Like,
Yeah.
how did all that go? I know Damien, I know he's a great guy, but I want to hear it from you as well.
Yeah. I mean, from start to finish, just absolute professional. Honestly, you wouldn't, because I was also in Terrifier 3. So I got to see him now that he's, so big and he's been so successful. Just still the same genuine guy, but also still so professional. He can be nice and he can be accommodating while also still, we're getting things done. Here's the note. Here's, how I want things to play out. Can you change this or that? He really made it a very great, like, first, bigger acting role for me. Just with how supportive he was, but then also giving me little notes that did actually, obviously make my performance better. Um, yeah.
That's great. He's a great guy, and I'm happy that he was able to do that for you, make it like a good experience, comfortable experience. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. You mentioned Terrifier 3. I do want to, well, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to mention with the cast of my body as well. Like, he always made sure I was very comfortable because, obviously back then it was, he didn't have these amazing budgets. He didn't have, studios and all these places where people could go. So, and I wish I could remember, it was so long ago, but I think it was either his house or a friend of his house, is like someone else who was in the production. But he made sure that I was absolutely comfortable. I think he had, a female there to make sure that I was okay. He actually had me do the cover and plaster the parts of my body without a male in the room. Like, he was very
That's
good
awesome.
about making sure that I was completely comfortable during that whole interaction.
That's awesome. I like that he took those steps, those precautions for you. Like, that shows just what kind of a guy he is, and that's amazing. Especially because back then it's like Damien was just another guy, and so the fact that he was an absolute professional is incredible. You did mention Terrifier 3, and like, so how did that come about? Because we know you played the receptionist in Terrifier 3. So walk me down like that. Like, how did that happen? Did he reach out to you again? Did you reach out to him? How did it play out?
I don't remember who reached out to who first. We've always been friends on Instagram and Facebook and such. And so I think I maybe mentioned to him happy birthday on DM one day, and asked him how things were going. Or it might have been, just because we've said happy birthday to each other every year or such and such, that he mentioned, oh, I'm doing another one. It'd be cool if you do a cameo. So I don't know who actually brought it up first.
Yeah, just a mutual.
Yeah. But I know that he has a lot of people that come back in, and he has a lot of Easter eggs, from past movies that come in to his, especially the third Terrifier 3. Just different things in the background. I know people were catching Honestly, I really didn't think anyone would recognize me. It had premiered in New York, and I was very excited. I got to go to the New York premiere, and that was so exciting. And then I actually left the next day, and I was away for a couple days, and I was getting messages on Facebook, oh, people are posting photos of you. People are posting photos, and it was friends of mine who were concerned because they're like, oh, people are taking your photos. And I'm like, oh, no, those are just photos of me from like the old movie. And people were saying, is this her? Was that her as the receptionist? And I honestly couldn't believe that people, because it was such a short little, snippet of time in the beginning of the movie. So it was really cool. It just shows like just how great horror fans are that they found all these little Easter eggs.
I honestly, I think the horror community is extremely good at that. Like you could go into any franchise, like I could think of just like the current Halloween trilogy, and just automatically, like myself and other people were just like, oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this. Like just every little Easter egg. Like when I saw Terrifier 3, I noticed it too. And I was like, that's freaking amazing. Like that made me happy. Like I absolutely love that. And you deserve it. I hope we see more of you, even if it is like little cameos like that. Obviously, we got Terrifier 4 coming out soon. It'd be awesome to see you in that. Damien, listen, get her in. But going back to, I want to say All Hallows Eve, even though it is the Terrifier short. So bear with me, anybody. If I say one, it's the other. It's all the same thing. Originally, like I know the ending changed. Like I know for a fact that the ending changed in that movie. Like it was supposed to be something else. Can you like walk me through that process? Like, did you know what was going to happen with all that?
No, do you mean the original short?
Yes.
I know that certain things did change because it was such a fast, like, okay, now it's not a feature length, it's a short, new actors. I think he had to create a script kind of, on the fly. I know some things didn't work out location wise, shooting wise, things that he thought he could do. Like I know the scene where Art comes up from the ground in the shed was supposed to be him breaking through a window to come like get me. And it's something about, because he had already had the breakaway glass, something about the way that the windows were, it just wasn't going to work. And so they had to kind of on the fly create that. I think I remember hearing something about that there was a different ending, but I'm not sure kind of how it changed.
Okay. I figured I would ask just in case. So a couple more questions. So do you have any upcoming projects that you are currently working on, or do you have are you going to be at any type of conventions? There are a lot of horror conventions right now, and I'm sure people will try to snag you up for that.
Yeah. So, all I can say about that, the conventions is, hopefully things will be announced soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. And, I signed with, a very wonderful company, called SigsCom, marketing. So if any people are listening that want to book me conventions, that's where to go. But yeah, I just started working with them very recently, and, they've been so amazing, but they're hoping that a lot of the dates get announced very shortly.
That'd be great.
And about upcoming projects, like you had mentioned, I'm hoping to do little cameos here and there. I'd like to start getting into kind of smaller parts. I have been out of things for a while. Just how life gets in the way. Sometimes you gotta take a step back. So yeah, I haven't done too many things, since the whole Terrifier franchise. But it's never too late to get your foot back in once you get that itch.
Absolutely. Damien, get her in 4, man. Get her in 4. We'll start a petition if I have to.
Right? I mean, come on. No arms, no legs, getting pushed around by Art.
Oh, that'd be great. That would be great. I don't know how. Well, you got to think. So they are doing like Art's backstory in 4. So they could easily use you. They could somehow bring you in. And oh, man, that's a great idea. I'm going to message Davey and be like, hey, man, this needs to happen. So that just got me excited just thinking about that. So to your fan, because you have a fan base, obviously, like you're aware of that now. Um, to your fans that are going to be watching this now, watching it in the future, like, what would you like to say to them? Like, this is your time to say whatever you'd like.
I just want to say thank you. There was some Facebook groups, that I became a part of. I had no idea that there was such a fan base. As somebody who this was a dream of mine, to be an actress, but then on top of that, to be in a horror movie. I mean, growing up, Nightmare on Elm Street was my favorite movie, even from like 4 years old. So it was just something I always wanted to do. I had a little bit of it, I was so excited to be, in Terrifier Shore and then All Hallows Eve. But, life gets in the way and you have to take a step back sometimes, but you just can't ever give up. I had no idea that there was such a group of wonderful people out there that were so supportive and just kind of like, little cheerleaders. And just they're such wonderful people. I'm just so thankful for them. Because it did kind of remind me that, it doesn't have to be over if I don't want it to be. You can step back, you can come back in, you can keep pushing forward, you can, you kind of create your own path, and it doesn't have to be, how everyone, thinks in their head. You can have this amazing plan and this amazing dream, and then it changes, but that doesn't mean it's over. So they reminded me of that, and I want to thank them.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing. And I know I've said it already, but we do appreciate you. Like, I'm speaking on behalf of the horror community, like Art the Clown Appreciation Society, everything, like all of us, like we appreciate you guys. We appreciate what you do, the art that you guys have brought to us. And I'm not talking about the clown. I'm talking about literally what you guys do, bringing it to us, making it a part of our lives and everything else. Like we appreciate you. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Of course. And the last question, you already kind of answered it, but I always ask this question. Okay. This is the big question that I ask everybody. So I'm going to ask you right now. Okay. What is your favorite scary movie?
Well, okay. I have two that are, so Nightmare on Elm Street was my favorite from growing up. It's actually the first movie I remember watching.
Oh, wow.
Which means my parents were really cool. So, I mean, never love Freddy Krueger. Come on. He's just so iconic and he's so great. But when I got a little older and I was getting very much into I want to be in acting, I fell in love with the Scream franchise.
Wes Craven. Love it.
Yes. Oh my God. So many little callbacks and little things as like a true horror fan, just little things that they put into the movie, the janitor with the sweater called Fred, mispronouncing Wes Craven's name, just so many
Wes
things.
Carpenter.
Yeah. It was just so great. So those are, the two that I could watch on repeat. And, if I'm sick, I'm watching Nightmare on Elm Street. If I want to get hyped up, I'm getting ready to go out, it's Scream.
That's amazing. Those, like, you can't get much better than that. Like, I always ask this question. I've gotten some amazing answers. Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream, like that's Wes Craven. It's the GOAT. Him and John Carpenter are the two best directors, in my opinion. And what Wes Craven did with Scream, he revitalized the horror genre in the 90s because it was fizzling out. It was nothing fresh. And he was like, hold my beer, I got this. And he created one of the best horror franchises, another one of the best horror franchises. Like, you got Nightmare and then you got that. That's how I feel about Damien with what he's done with Terrifier, All Hallows Eve, all that is like, he's the new thing, right? He's the new it factor. He revamped horror again. Yeah. During a time where we really needed it. So we were getting like reboots and we were getting things like that, but we didn't have anything new. And Damien, again, was like, hold my beer. And so that's awesome. Great choices.
And to that, this is the fourth Terrifier. I think I heard rumors that this might be the last Art the Clown.
There are rumors.
Then, so then we got to see, because I have no doubt that he's going to come up with, he's going to say, hold my beer again and come up with something better.
Absolutely.
Or maybe not better, but, just as great.
So what my theory is, okay, and this, I was going to say this is between me and you, but this is between everybody who watches this. So my theory is Terrifier 4 might be the last Terrifier.
Okay. Oh, but
The last Terrifier doesn't mean it's going to be like the last we're going to see of Art the Clown, you know?
Yeah.
And David, when I interviewed David years ago, I told him that he was going to be the new face of horror. And he's like, yeah, we'll see. And I was like, no, you are. And sure enough, now between being Art the Clown, being the mean one, being in Scream, being Screamboat, I was like, yeah, see, who was right? So like, it's the same thing with Damien. Damien is just, he is the horror director. Him, Fuzz on the Lens, like that whole group, like everybody together is just amazing, wonderful people. And yeah, that's my little speculation. I don't think we're going to see the end of Art the Clown or Sienna for that matter. Like, but oh man, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you are probably exhausted because I know you had, your vacation and all that stuff. I just came back from vacation too, not long ago. Like I came back Monday night. So
yeah.
But I did, again, I want to say thank you. I sound like a repeated broken record. I apologize, but
That's okay.
I'm thankful. I can't help it. I'm a thankful person. Okay. But
I'll also repeat myself. Thank you for having me in my first interview.
That is a complete honor. That's still wild. I love that. Wow. I'm happy. That's great. Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. Boys and girls, I appreciate you watching this. Please make sure that you follow Marie Mazur on all of her socials. I know she's on Facebook. I'm pretty sure she's on Insta. Follow her. Like all of her stuff. We're going to get her in Terrifier 4 one way or another. And as always, subscribe, like, share, do your thing. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Keep the horror community thriving. Until the next video, later.